It's good to see you again, Joe. I was beginning to miss the wailing and woes of the King of Denial. So, what minor life inconvenience brings you into my office today?
Well, man, the freaking new house just has so many issues. Like, I've got this mean slant to like 2/3 of the freaking house. I've got rats and squirrels in the walls, and I am actively at war with them, and I am freaking losing that war. I swear. And I dang near need a freaking fan boat to go check my mail after it rains. I've done stuff, man, and I am just had it up to here. And
Well, Joe, if you ever decide to go off the grid and live in the wilderness, you're already halfway there. What about living in a cabin next to a lake led you to think that your yard was going to be dry and solid as a rock?
bro, like I knew it wasn't gonna be like a desert, living next to the lake, but I didn't expect it to be like Waterboy's house. I mean, it's Texas, not Louisiana, man. And it's not like I'm in a swamp area. It's just it's a fishing lake, right? But I don't know. Anyways, I'm the only one whose house that really gets like that in this neighborhood area that I'm in. Everybody else's house just kind of rolls down the hill, like into the lake or into the creek and everything that feeds into the lake, right? But whenever the neighbors and I'm trying to like dig a ditch and fix stuff on it, and they pass by and they always just go, "Yeah, this house has always been like that." While we look at a little baby version of the lake in my front yard. So so with it being wet all the time, the pillars under the house, like it's a pier and beam house, and they're starting to shift, and the house is like taking on this mean lean. I'm pretty sure it was already there when I got the house, but I don't know, maybe it's in my head, but I swear that thing's getting worse. I've got my gym like on the far side of the house. I got the other stuff. I don't know. I feel like it's getting worse, or maybe it's just in my head. But I went under the house to check the pillars and blocks because there was no insulation whatsoever on the bottom part of the house, and I got it right there at the beginning of the year, and it was kind of having that cold snap, so I insulated this one section so it would be a little, where the heater is, and so it'd be a little bit warmer in that particular section for where it was cold for a couple weeks. But whenever I was under there, man, I saw the pillars, and some of these dudes are not even touching the house, dude. Not even touching the house. And I discovered this because I'm sitting there crawling in this stupid Tyvek suit to keep all the mud and rat shit off of me. And I bump into a pillar, and you would think, ow, bumped a pillar. No, the pillar moved out of the way for me, man. Okay, that's one thing I know about pillars is that they are not supposed to move away from you. Like, oh, sorry, bumped into your boat. I'll move out of the way. No, it's supposed to be, bro. I'm a pillar. I got a job. I'm sitting here. So yeah, I did some stuff and I tried to like knock it in place and at least make it to where the pillar, and like got some wood and hammered that stuff in, so I guess at least it's in contact with the house, right? It's not just sitting there weebling wobbling. But yeah, and then the kitchen sink, I'm sitting there just doing dishes one night because, again, don't have a dishwasher out there in the little cabin. So I'm doing stuff in the little kitchen sink, and I go to drain the sink, and I just hear a lot of dripping from under the sink. And I look under there, and this bitch is just fucking just bust. It's like falling off of it, and it's just no longer it's like no longer connected to the sink at the top, and it's just pouring into the lower part of my sink, or the sink cabinet area. So I'm running around grabbing towels and stuff like that, and this old dirty dishwater's just falling straight from the sink, and I'm trying to move the pipe over. Either way, that is currently held together with duct tape and some rubber cement, because I You can buy the kit to fix the little pipes and everything like that for like $20. But I don't really trust myself to like put that kit in place. And I feel like I'm only gonna like completely F up my sinks if I try and do that and I start stripping things away. And I just need to get some money up, and I'm just gonna call up a plumber. I'm gonna go say, "Hey, bro, good luck with this sink right here. I got some stuff for you. Feel free to throw it away. If we gotta get a new sink, we gotta get a new sink. I've come to terms with that, but I can't afford that right now. So what do we have? We got duct tape and rubber cement, and it's it's working to a point.
You definitely found yourself in the house since you both appear to be gluttons for self-destruction. Perhaps it's a sign you were made to live there. Or, more likely, it's a sign it's time to stop relying on short-term solutions to fix long-term and foundational issues.
Ho ho, okay, very elitist of you, know me, alright? Some of us don't just have tons of money to spend on professionals to help me out, alright? I'm putting this $20 roll of duct tape on a credit, right? Getting on layaway, I'll be able to pay it off in a couple of months, right? Everything in Biden's economy costs so much dang money. I'm going to be buying $100, maybe even $1,000 hamburgers before I even turn 40. Either way, I'm not even gonna go down that rabbit hole. Alright? But there's these freaking rats and squirrels living. I know there's at least squirrels, but I'm pretty sure there's rats and stuff in the walls. And because I saw it looked like rat turds all over the insulation in the attic of my house, right? I got insulation up there. And I can hear them skitting around, and I can hear them falling between the walls. And so I got like 20 different traps, and I put them all in my attic and different places in my house, like where they had chewed like a little hole through the wall. And you know what, man, pissed me off? In 2 months, haven't caught one. Not a dang one. But what do you hear at night? Skitter, skitter, skitter. Skitter, skitter, skitter. Boom, 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 boom. I hear it, and it's just taunting me, dude. Right? Especially whenever you hear it, like I'm in the tub or I'm taking a shower, and I just hear the rat or whatever just tumble between the walls of my bathroom, and I think it's the pantry or something over there. But I did get this one squirrel, right? I was in my front porch area, and I could hear him. He was skittering above, and I opened up the area, and I saw him. And I got my old BB pistol, and I started pop, 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 capping at him. And he went out, onto the ground outside my house, and I saw him kind of limping, and I was like, okay, I got him. And once you shoot him, you can't just. I mean, he was crippled, right? I could tell that I had got him sufficiently good enough that he was gonna be effed up. Right? So at that point, I did the only humane thing, which is just go the whole 9 yards, dude. And so I straight up gunned him down right there in my front yard. And I did it to really, teach the other squirrels and any of the other rats that were watching, through the woodwork in my cabin and everything like that, and go, oh, dude, he's not messing around. I was trying to teach a lesson, right? If I only have to take out one and I teach a lesson, okay, cool, everything's Kemosabe, but that's not the way it works. It's not the way it works. It's a freaking war with them, dude. And again, I keep putting all these traps out. Oh, you guy on YouTube, just put a little water bucket and a thing like that, and they're gonna just fall straight in there. You're gonna be killing rats. BS, son. Okay, BS. I made multiple versions of that. That's all at the bottom of my house, right? Because I thought that would be perfect to put at the bottom of the house. Absolutely freaking not, dude. Nothing. Just a moldy little can. Alright? It's absolute dog water. I swear those are like staged rats or something like that. Staged video. At this point, I'm starting to get conspiratorial about pest removal videos on YouTube and on the internet because none of them's working for me, but I hear what I hear in the attic, man.
It sounds like the one you made an example of has become a martyr. Most likely, they've formed a secret society with that squirrel as the spiritual leader, complete with their own shadowy council plotting your downfall. The rodents of your house have become your own personal Illuminati. I can understand why you have trouble sleeping. It must be quite disturbing to hear them chanting in the attic during their nightly ceremonies.
That would be pretty wild if they were really like actually doing that. Like there was like a little rat cult. They were doing stuff, and it makes you wonder about it if they actually were doing that and they had like the Illuminati. I wonder if they would have robes and like imagine how crazy it would be if rats, like just only rats, are the only other animal that wears clothes. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like the world would be a completely different place if there was rats walking around with clothes. The sewers would be much different. You'd be finding like little rat shirts and shorts and everything, and of course they would go through the rats, they grow up real quick, so of course we always complain about I hear parents complaining about how kids just grow through their clothes so fast, but I mean, dude, rat children would just grow through this so quickly. But then again, it would like we would have to approach rats differently if they were wearing clothes, right? They would be the only other animal in the world that actually buttoned up a shirt and put on their pants. Like, we may have the little saying is that, I'm just a normal guy. I put my pants on one leg at a time. What? I'm just a normal rat. Like, that, it changes the whole perspective on life if there was just an animal that, like, and again, you gotta think about it. They would have to have their own like little rat culture and everything, right? A center of industry where they're like producing clothes. Again, it would probably start out with again, or would it be like the Native Americans are just having like a little loom? Would the rats have a loom, or would they be like birds weaving that shit together like it's some sort of nest and like making little shirts? I swear they could probably get some good like high thread counts on it with them being so small. But again, you would think about it, would they have like rat centers of industry producing stuff like rat Gucci? Like designer rat clothes. But then again, if you start thinking about that, they've expanded to have like centers of industry for the rats. That means that they are like this like other culture that we have to deal with. Would there be a trading network? I mean, at that point, you would have to have a trading network amongst the rats. Right, and then now you've got like this whole rat society and industry and trading network going on. Do we need to start negotiating with rats whenever building roads? Would rats have a seat at the United Nations? Would the rats have their own sub like rat United Nations, right, where they're dealing with things again, the complexities of a creature that that like creates robes and clothes and everything like that, I think really just changes the whole fabric of society, which I really think that Hollywood and everything like that is really just kind of underrepresented, because that would just be super wild. Like I remember in the Bee movie that they had like the whole court case and like recognized bees as being like real freaking things, right? And like had this whole court case for them. But again, I really think they underrepresented the concept of like sentient animals and everything like that. And Stuart Little and everything like that, it was like, oh yeah, the rat wears clothes and he talks to us, no big deal. Ratatouille was kind of close with it, with the concept of like, oh man, I can't believe there's a rat that actually does something. But then again, I think about what would it be like with a whole rat culture, and not like big size rats like in Warhammer 40k or something. I'm talking about regular like household rats. It'd be wild, your New York City
Joe,
rats.
I applaud your
It'd be
creativity,
wild.
truly I do. The thought of rats donning tiny suits and engaging in diplomatic negotiations is both absurd and oddly captivating. However, your session today is almost over. To be frank, with the amount of issues you have, I suggest you come more often or at least pay for a longer visit. You need some serious help. You really need some serious help.